Kappa is one of the longest and hardest grind to do within Escape from Tarkov, and we finally managed to complete it on PVE, but I wanted to go through some of the things that I've done in order to get this done as quickly as possible in the quickest amount of time, as well as, you know, save yourself the hassle of completing various different tasks and having to do them all in separate order. And so with that being said, let's take a look at some of the best ways that you can speed up your way to do Kappa, since I was limited on time from doing videos requiring me to do specific things on the game, but also managing to get my tasks done so that we can progress the account. So with that in mind, let's jump over to one of the most useful tools that I've used since I started going for Kappa a long time ago. Before we get into this video, if you do enjoy Escape from Tarkov PVE and you want more content like this, then be sure to give this video a like, as it lets me know exactly what you want, and it really does help out the channel. So thank you everyone who's probably already liked this video, but if you haven't, please consider it, as it really does help me out. But let's jump back into how to help you with your Kappa tasks. The first thing that I've used, which I found really useful for me, was personally using the Tarkov tasks for Kappa, which you can see on screen right here. This is the actual spreadsheet. It's available for everyone. You can make a copy. It's on a Google Drive. You can just copy it to your own Google Drive, provided you have essentially a Gmail account, or alternatively save this as a spreadsheet, which you can then open up in Excel if you've actually got it, if you don't want to use the Google Drive. But the premise of this is that it lists out every single task that you do require for Kappa for version 0.14 of Tarkov, and of course it will be updated most likely when 0.15 comes out. As of 0.14, these are the total tasks that you need to complete. Now the ones in blue are the ones that are required for Kappa, and so for me personally, this is a great kind of tracking tool and just going through to be able to mark on which ones I have actually completed. They're also linked up to the Tarkov fandom, and it goes through all of the quests, so you can just click on the task that maybe you've got and then see what you need to do for that task, and it works really well to be able to do it. It's pretty simple. All of the fandom articles basically go through everything you'll need, as well as everything that you can do within the quest, as well as providing you with specific locations of items that you need for that quest. So having this all linked up into one is really nice and very handy from the maker of this spreadsheet. Now, as far as how I've done it and how I've marked everything, this is what we have right here. So in green is tasks that I have completed, as well as in orange we have tasks that I have available to me but not required for Kappa. On the standard spreadsheet, these are the ones that are crossed out, so have a line through them. You can still do them and track them and everything like that, but I essentially just assign them a different color. But if I, for example, was to find a quest that I need for Kappa and I haven't actually already completed it, what I'll do is I'll highlight it in yellow, as you can see down here with escort. It's not actually required for Kappa, but just as an illustration, escort you can see marked in yellow, and then a task that isn't actually required for Kappa marked in orange. That lets me know that I have the quest, it's in my actual game. If we go back into the game, we can actually go over to my task list, and we go to tasks, and you can see I've got escort, I've got capturing outposts, and essentially that just gives me an idea as to where I'm at with the quest that I currently have available on the game. And so once I've done the quest, I'll then mark it in green, and then, you know, you can then move on to the next part. And then what we do usually when I go for Kappa is to select the location of my tasks, and that way we can track exactly which task is required for each of the different maps. So you can see I got no swiping and thirsty hands for shoreline. We can then have a look at the each of these two quests. For example, one is to eliminate scavs in the time period of 22:00 and 07 in the morning, and then no swiping is eliminate any target in the base area, which is in the smuggler's base on shoreline. So in terms of completing this quickly and easily, efficiently, what I do is I select multiple tasks to do in one raid. So for these two, what I would do is I would go into shoreline at the time period of 10 till 7, and then I would make my way over to the smuggler's base on Shoreline, and then that way any target that we take out on Shoreline in the smuggler's base will count towards Thirsty Hounds as well. And that's kind of how I work out my tasks, and making sure that I'm completing multiple tasks every single time that I'm going to complete a task. You can see here we have an absolute bunch of streets tasks that we can basically combine into one run and complete like 4 tasks in one run, which works out very, very useful for kind of getting as many tasks done in the short period of time that you may play the game. Or, you know, maybe you come home from work and you don't have the most amount of time. So grouping your tasks up and not completing like a singular task that might be on Lighthouse, for example, where possible, or unless, of course, it stops you from getting further tasks that you need to complete for Kappa, which you can have a look at on the actual website and the spreadsheet to check if that is a task that you have to complete to get the next set of tasks, or it opens up a ton of tasks. That's what you can do. But primarily, if I've only got one task on one map, I won't bother doing it until I kind of run out of all of them and I start having one task on each of the maps. And that way I can save myself time and, of course, be able to go through as easily as possible to complete them. So that's kind of the tips that I've had when it comes to all of these. In terms of completing tasks on the game, obviously on PVE, for example, the main worry is primarily bosses and being able to be, you know, efficient with avoiding the bosses where you're just trying to task and not getting too worried about looting. Tarkov is either you're looting or you are essentially questing. If you're trying to do both, you just become very inefficient, and it'd be better for you to just complete all your tasks to be able to unlock the best gear and to be able to get what you need to in the game, and then you can kind of go through and try and earn a bit of money. This is like the mindset of just trying to progress your character as far as possible. But PvE, you can play however you want. I'm just trying to tell you the kind of the generalized approach to either playing Tarkov and Tarkov PVE in general to provide the fastest experience. So with that being said, if that helps you out, if it find it useful, or maybe you want to check out the spreadsheet, it is all linked in the description down below, so you can see all of that. And of course, if you want to see more content from myself, and of course any of the other content that we've already done previous to this, then you can have a look on the channel. And if you find it useful, subscribe down below. And thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.